talking hate, I'm about to get it now. About to get it now. I was walking through the storm, I see the light now. Lord, I see the light now. Angeke usenze lutho. Angeke usenze lutho. Angeke usenze lutho.
All right, welcome to it. This is The Game. Feels so good to see it. I'm the one named Tulz Madala, and this is the first episode of something that's going to be so special. We called it The Game because I'm hanging out with people that I feel like are game players.
Ow.
And we want to pretty much share our everyday experiences, the good, the bad, the sad. If you look around, there's people that you might recognize from TV, from the club, mixing, doing their thing, or on the radio. Am I right?
I love how you mentioned the club mixing.
Yeah, because
we had to convince him that we're DJ.
Exactly. I thought you were gonna say in the club dancing. When you said mixing, I'm like that's
Okay.
more like
yeah.
it.
Okay.
No,
There
it's
we
not
go.
even hate. It's just that everybody's a DJ these days. So it's like, you know what I mean?
No. Everybody's a DJ, or rather, everybody thinks they're a DJ.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
You
painful.
see?
Yeah, you see, we're starting already.
Just saying.
So to
Yeah.
my left, I got the queen, Zanele Potelwa. I like to call her the queen at lunchtime. I don't want to mention the station because it's advertising. She rocks every Monday to Friday between 12 and 3 p.m. on a national station.
That's right. That's me.
That's
Hi, everybody. Your power, friend.
Power.
Thanks, bro.
I was saying earlier on, she just finishes like, a primetime show and then just races to go do a podcast because...
You're
Hi.
annoying. Thanks, Tulzi.
Thank you for being a part of the show and agreeing to be part of the show.
Thanks for
We
having us,
appreciate
my
it. Of course, we also have Kea Zawadi,
Gang,
as
gang.
mentioned, DJ as well, actress, YouTuber. Am I missing anything?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
Voiceover artist,
Okay.
MC,
Okay, there we go. Did you say singer?
singer.
Did you say songwriter?
I'm gonna need people's CVs in front of me because it's real.
No, I can flex you, but I mean you have to hold your titles proudly.
I know that's right.
So yeah, I'm happy to be here, man.
That's what's
I'm
up.
glad we're
Thank
doing
you.
this.
True gameplay
Yeah.
as well. And my boy Zino! Zino and I are like brothers, man, in the house.
Yes, sir.
His bed was like right next to mine, and by house, obviously, I mean the Big Brother house. We barely spoke at the beginning, but then he used to crack jokes about the girls in the room, and I'd be like, I like this guy. I want to chill with this guy. Not in a bad way, but it was really funny jokes.
And funny thing is that we actually came in together in the house. Remember that?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you were like, hey, bro, there's this chick with dreads, bro. Watch out for her. But okay.
We will just move swiftly along. So yeah, the whole purpose of this is because obviously, I see you guys as game players. We're always playing the game. Like the industry is crazy. A lot of good, again, a lot of bad, and a lot of interesting. So I want us to use this platform to sort of school the people out there because a lot of people that want to get into radio, voiceover gigs, reality shows, the list is endless, DJing. So I think, it's only right we use this kind of platform to share our experiences.
Definitely. On the note of you saying DJing, I just want to say, guys, I feel like my shade was a lot earlier on. You know? I also think I'm a
pulling back
DJ.
now.
I am. I feel so
Politically correct
bad.
Zanele is coming in.
I also think I'm a DJ, but I will also say this. It is a skill that needs to be mastered.
Yes.
And that's also why I'm not a full-time DJ. Because, guys, that thing is so tough.
Yeah.
Yo, but yes.
Because you got to count to 4.
Yeah,
And then you gotta look cool the whole time, you know what I mean?
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
true. And when you're learning how to DJ, they know looking cool. You're literally there going like,
Dog, you're chasing those songs.
And then the horses come through.
it's hectic. It's hectic.
Nah. So what I wanted to speak about, just to kick things off, there being a cheat code to the game.
Yeah.
And it's because I bumped into someone who felt like being on Big Brother is a cheat code.
Hectic.
Ha.
Hectic.
How dare?
How dare?
What do you guys thought of that?
Technically. But hear me out. Technically, in terms of the publicity that it gives you, it really is a head start if you're trying to launch yourself a career in the public eye.
Okay.
Because now people know you. So I don't know if it's a cheat code, but I do think that it is something that can help.
I don't think it's fair to call it a cheat code. And I say that because a lot of the people who went into the house are people who have been at their game for a while. Do you know what I'm saying? And then they landed the opportunity because a lot of people needed not a lot of people, everyone needed to go for auditions, right? So you guys went and you were vetted and all of those things. So that's why I don't think it's fair to call it a cheat code. Because of that, the work had been put in before that, and not everyone necessarily, because I mean there's even people's stories like Tato who changed, where she was an accountant and then now she's more in the public eye. However, I do feel like there's so many different opportunities that come along where you could be like, for somebody it's a cheat code. Do you know what I'm saying? But I don't think it's warranted, because at the end of the day, it also then is shown in how people continue after that. Such as people starting a podcast. Yeah.
What do you think, Zino? Because for you, you were in the house.
We were there. So
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. I don't feel like it is a cheat code. I feel like it's still the same thing when you get out. Just a little bit, you know, that buzz can die out. And then you can
Zino, it's not...
No,
it's not the same when you go. See, now I'm just...
No, okay.
Yeah.
But the buzz can die out, and then you're just another person again.
Something I was also going to say, though, is that I think it's the perfect springboard. And the reason why I say that, like you said, it's a really great platform.
Yeah.
In the sense that Big Brother isn't the same as like being Monang type of thing. Yeah. You know, in the sense that it's there 24 hours. People were able to watch you guys 12 hours a day and fall in love with Tulz, how Tulz sleeps, how Tulz eats, how Tulz talks to people, the jokes Tulz makes. So I think it's a really great platform in that regard. And that's why I'm saying I disagree and saying things are the same after.
But then remember, you're competing with like, 19 other people. That want the same thing.
Definitely.
It's the same thing.
Not just 19 other cool people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got people with tattoos. I rap. I sing. I twerk. I got abs on my back.
But you guys were there for a reason.
Yeah.
All of you were there to shine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is a bit of a head start, guys.
Look.
There's some sort of, or do you fully disagree? Like there's no head start, there's no benefit.
To fully disagree,
That would be wrong.
That would be wrong. I mean...
But here's the thing, right? I hate cheat code because it gives you this idea that it's easy. And it isn't, right? Number one, you have to audition. You know what I mean? There's certain things I can't even mention that you have to go through that are far from easy, right?
Yeah.
And then there's actually being in the house. It is, 71 days, B?
Yeah.
You know? I mean...
It's rough.
You go crazy, but like, you already feeling the heat. Like, it's not easy. So because of that, I wouldn't say it's a cheat code. And then when you come out of the house, you've got all this exposure. But you didn't necessarily win that 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? You still go back to the same T-shirts that you had.
Exactly.
Same.
That's what I say. It's the same thing, guys.
You know what I mean?
Same thing.
And you need to maintain this lifestyle now of, you know, I'm Tulz.
I'm Tulz Madala.
Tulz from Big Brother.
But that's why I'm saying it's about how you proceed, and that's why I also, like I say, I don't think it's necessarily a cheat code. Because even look at, like, for example, Bloom Bombo. She came from Big Brother.
Bloom Bombo was in the previous season.
Yes,
right?
but that's why I'm saying, look at how much she's progressed.
Yeah.
Look at how much, like, other people have also progressed. But then, like, you measure them against everybody else, they used what they had from the house.
I get you. You know, that measure against is one of my biggest worries, because I feel like the world and the audience is trying so hard to rip the people apart, which adds to the stress that people have. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
In what ways?
if I was in the house and I had an argument with Zino, people just don't want to understand that I can be friends with Zino.
Not at all.
Even if you
It
guys
can't be a thing.
apologized.
Yeah.
We apologize, we get along. People that love Zino are gonna, well, you shouldn't have done that to Zino. But I'm chilling with Zino right now. And it's like, how are you gonna tell me to stop chilling with my nigga? But you weren't even in the house though.
And it was so funny. On the Big Brother space, there was this guy who had all these points. It was like he wrote them out, guys. He was like, Tulz, you said this on this day.
Listen to that.
You said this on this day.
People are literally so invested in that, and they don't understand that it's a game at the end of the day. When we come out, want to be fam, because that's what I thought we were.
Yeah.
So, you know, you go on the live, and they're like, stay away from Tulz. Hey, man.
You see what I mean?
Like,
Why? That time you just got a voice note from me saying, what up, my
brother? Yeah.
Not stay away from Tulz,
People
child.
are love. Don't trust Mang Mang. He's bad for you. But it's like, but I know them. What do you mean? I must stay away from people. Why? But it's only because, again, people watched it, and unlike celebrities, you didn't get to see a person switching into, I don't know, like
Putting it
a
on.
mode. Yeah, it's at all times. So if you really like Tulz, you really like Tulz. If you really like Libo, you really like them. So I get the feeling that people feel like they need to protect them.
I get that.
Right.
Yeah, because you sort of form an attachment. Guys, can I tell you, I was obsessed with Big Brother, ne? But towards the end, I kind of like, I tried to taper myself off of it. So like, if I could watch it, I'd watch for like an hour instead of like the 5 hours.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what am I going to do when it's gone? I promise
You were already preparing
I was
yourself.
like, guys, everybody was
crazy.
obsessed with watching you guys. Like, that's why I'm
crazy.
like, I
Yeah.
get what you mean.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Huge.
It was a little bit of an obsession. So
Yeah.
can Zino and Tulz, can you guys say that you guys are friends?
Yeah.
Angeke usenze lutho. Angeke usenze lutho. Angeke usenze lutho. Angeke usenze lutho. Reverse round the river, what time to success. Guess I did too much when over.
Can Zino and Tulz, can you guys say that you guys are friends?
Yeah, can
Yeah,
you
what the
hug
hell?
it out, hug
We
it out.
never,
We don't-
we
we
never
don't-
did a beef. It was an example. It was an example.
But hear me out. It's more intense with the other guys, like amongst the veto, or for example, if Nale and I had there we are, right? And people will think that Nale and I don't get along. But we do. When I saw her, she was like, "Are you good? Like I haven't seen you in a while. You just got out of the house. Like mentally, are you okay? Because I know it, she knows what it's like. You know what I mean? She was there for me on that. Yo, like if you want to talk, well, cool. You leave that. Why did you do that? Like people are still mad because I chowed Terry's ribs. Bro, are you serious?
We've
Like,
eaten so many ribs after the house.
like so many post-rib parties in my system since that ish. And you want to ask me 3 weeks later, well, I just came out of an audition. It's a hot day. I'm trying. Want to ask me about ribs? It's crazy.
Even you with the Sis Tamara thing as well.
There's that.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's worse for me because I mean, I played a controversial game. I did what I had to
You
do
really
to win.
did.
I mean, when Zino got out the house, I started saying, "Yo, we need to avenge Zino.
Yeah,
Right?
I
we need
saw
to
that.
avenge
I
Zino.
saw that, yeah.
And for me, it's a strategy, right? Because people love Zino, so how am I gonna use Zino's love to my favor?
This guy.
It's wrong.
Guys, it's a game.
It's a game.
It's a.
Yeah.
You want that 2 million? What are you? And you know what?
Yeah.
It's funny enough. I only found out later on. This is how it should be played. I didn't really know
I
the
get
game like that.
you.
So when I saw, I was like, damn. Like things shocked you there, hey?
People that were playing lost it. I'll tell you that. Like Temba used to always say, "Yo, kind people don't last here, Baba.
And he was right.
Only the evil people do."
Dude.
And then at the end, I was like, "Yo,
Yeah.
he's right."
Look at who's around me.
Yeah, it's all the people that made those little moves. But let's, I don't know. I don't want to speak too much about it. The game's over.
Yeah.
We all get along. Stop trying to force us.
We're all friends.
Yeah.
That's what Tulz is saying.
But yeah, Twitter. Yeah, speaking of friends, like we're speaking about friends in the media industry. I do feel like you guys are my friends, but I could be wrong. You guys could be here for the lights. We don't know. Zino and I have established that we're friends. You guys have met up before. Would you consider yourselves friends or just acquaintances? There we are. There we
I
are.
want you to say it first.
Okay, I'll say it first.
Yeah.
The thing is, we've never like hung out on our own.
Yes.
So we haven't established our friendship.
So that's why I would
right?
say we're like industry friends.
Yes.
So like I can
Industry
call up on
friends.
Kea and be like, Kea, please come play at my birthday. Type of
Absolutely.
thing. And she'll
Okay.
be there. Or she can call me and be like, Zanele, like there's this audition, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Like, you know?
Yes.
Like, so we're industry friends, but we've never hung out enough, like you said.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like even just myself and you. It's always like other people bringing us
And a party.
together, events bring us together,
Yes.
parties bring us together, jobs bring us. Remember the time we met
Yes.
there by the SABC One Thingamabobs?
Yeah.
Hey, working ladies, hello.
You know.
Thingamabobs.
Thingamabobs.
Thank you.
Can I suggest that we like do a group, maybe outing or something
Yeah.
like that? You get what I mean?
I'd like
yeah.
Oh, Zino.
You get it.
This is why he wasn't one of the evil ones at the end.
Well, as long as you guys are paying, I'm there.
He was one of the evil ones at the
If
end.
y'all paying, I'm staying. You know what I'm saying?
Of
Yeah.
course, tools.
Dude, why are you acting like we're not friends? Why
No,
did
you are not. Here's the thing, right? You and I are just a whole different story. Like I've known you since high school.
Good, yeah.
Hectic, yeah.
I did a
yeah.
play with Zanele.
We were husband and wife.
Husband
by
and
the way.
wife. Imagine, right?
Interesting.
Graduate, I go to Cape Town, she does her thing, blossoms, you know, I mean, Zanele, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
You
it's
know,
tools, right? Also
right?
blossoms.
I got my ass fired at this other station I used to work at. Won't mention it.
Why are you looking at me?
No, you were just like, you know, you just look like the right person to look at.
Don't let me start because I will not finish that
I'm
conversation.
so stressed.
But I'm saying that got fired from that station or let go because fired makes it seem bad. Let go. End up at another station. And she's there, the first person. It was like a competition thing. And, she
And of
was
course, Tools won because Tools does that.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say all of that, but I win and we start doing a show. But it was just such a beautiful, beautiful experience. Yeah, you're more than a friend of me, girl. Like, yeah.
Okay, I love you.
That's what's up. That's cute as
that's so
hell.
nice.
That's cute as
That's
hell.
great.
I can't not say I have, and just beyond this, I hosted a party recently, and I didn't pay any of the people that were there. You know, and these are people that I've worked with throughout the industry: Zandy, The Crook, Sapta, Miss Williams, and so many people that were just there to celebrate with me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I even had a fee at the door. Some of them paid. It's like, then you can't say that there's no friend. You know?
Yeah.
I can 100% agree with that. Like, I feel like for me, getting into the industry, at the beginning, I was always told, like, yo, it's such a cutthroat industry. Like, everybody is going to hate you. Everyone's going to be mean to you and whatnot. And I think I remember when I joined Tax FM, right? So, obviously, you know, we're not getting paid or this, that, at the university.
Yeah.
I feel like there was, like, a little bit of a worse sort of environment there than there was when I came to a 5FM. And I think it's just because I don't think it was on anybody, but just the fact that everybody had told themselves, everyone's mean in the industry, so I'm going to be mean to the new people and whatever. But then when I came to 5FM, there were all these big guys, huge people, some of the biggest people on radio, and they were the nicest people in the world.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a very big misconception about how people are in the industry. I think when you bring it to friends, that's when it gets a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
But I do think that, like, there is a lot of room for friendships.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
But you
I like
gotta
that.
know how to identify them.
100%.
Because us being in the club, sipping champagne, and I'm like, yo, come through my party, and you say yeah, doesn't necessarily
That
mean
don't mean
that we're friends,
Yeah.
right? So how do you say you would look at someone and sort of, how do I put it?
Consider them your friend.
As in break down whether they are or they're not, right? So
firstly, what is a friend?
It's a
I
person.
can't.
No, because Tanzere, we have to establish that first because there's a difference between an acquaintance and a friend.
okay,
Right?
okay.
So is your friend just, okay, we're all good, I can hit you up, you can hit me up, but then, you know, if maybe you're not necessarily showing up when I need you, then you're not a friend, or you don't need to show up for me, but you can still be my friend. You know, is there...
I think that whole thing of wanting to benefit from each other should not be a thing if we're friends. We friends, guys. We friends.
But because we friends, then I should want to benefit
No,
from you. That's
but like if that's the only reason you're my friend, then we're not friends.
Okay, I get
you get what I
get
mean?
you, I get
That's
you.
what that's what I mean.
I think it's trippy in the industry because again, you're gonna be out and about, and the person will come to you and holler at you like they're friends, but you can't necessarily call them and just speak to them about how they do it. But in the club, it's the biggest hug ever. Yo, Ndwana!
But this is the thing. Why like that?
It's how they do it. Yo, Ndwana, yo, it's been a minute.
That's so true.
Yeah, and
Right?
it be like that for real.
But I was gonna say, I also think it's people's fault. You can't go around thinking everyone's your friend, bruh. Like, come on. Like, you know who your friend is. So if you saying we need to define it, fine, we can. But at the end of the day, you know who your friend is. Like, Tools, you're not just gonna like call somebody that you're not necessarily close to when like either things are bad or like you need help with something or whatever. You know what a type of friend is in terms of who you can call, who you can be like. Exactly. So even with you, when you were like asking people to play at your
gig, I didn't ask any and everyone.
But that's what I'm saying.
So like I met Rowa Boy and he was a nice guy, but I can't call him up and be like, Ndwana, ngicela 200. Like,
Yeah, it's not because you guys aren't friends.
yeah, I've got a problem. Man, I in the club. Like it's like we just won the UEFA. I get it. So it's about me being able to, and everyone else out there as well. Like identify
Yeah.
who really is and who isn't.
Yes, 100%.
I think it's possible to have friends in the industry, but there is sometimes that underlying thing of, "Hey, Mara, are we competing or are we?" You know, when you can feel someone is, maybe they weren't really my friends.
yeah,
You know, because you can always feel there's this thing of like, "Oh, she got that job, why didn't I?" You know.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it was,
Yeah.
this is someone who you considered a friend in the
friend,
industry.
yeah.
You know.
But with you saying now where you were like, maybe they weren't really your friend, I don't even think that's the case, because it does happen that people stop being friends because of jealousy and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's true.
Especially
That's
in
true.
our look. I know you're speaking of the radio game. It's crazy to be in a work environment where year by year, jobs just fall underneath people's feet,
Yeah.
and other people get new jobs. So
Yeah.
as much as we're friends, I'm competing.
Yeah.
It's what it is. Like,
Yeah.
I could be happy that Zanele is doing lunch, but I've also got a dream of one day doing lunch.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing graveyard. So not to say I don't want Zanele
Yeah.
to prosper and be great, but the beast in me also wants to do it.
But the thing is, the beast mustn't be greater than the friendship, Kalogo. And by that, I mean, and it works both ways. And I've seen it happen in the industry, which is why I also say it. So I can't be like, yo, I love Kea, but I want all of her jobs type of thing. Like, the beast can't be bigger. But like I said, it works both ways in the sense where when Kea gets a job that I wanted, the beast can't come and be, I need to be happy for Kea.
We celebrate each other's
Yes,
wins. Yeah.
exactly.
I'll commend you on one thing, the fact that I came into a space that you were already at, well established, even on the mic. You know how crazy it is to be on the mic with someone that is intimidated by you? Like, they will try and cut you. Welcome to the game. I'm Tulz, and there's this other person here. You know what I mean? It's those subliminal things, the cues that are like, and you are always, dude, do you have, like, being around, okay, I think it's more about being confident in you and what you can do. Then you're not intimidated by someone else's success.
Yeah, that's so true.
And that's the thing, and that's why I think then at the end of the day, the whole thing of like the beast and the competition doesn't play into things. And that's why I think it's so important to understand like what's yours is going to be for you at the end of the day. And also, like you said, believing in yourself.
Yeah.
So if that's my case where I know I'm Zanele Potelwa and this is what I'm good at and I'm not competing with anybody else, then it's easier for you to just be like, we're friends. And when things do go, there's a job and it's between me and Kea gets it, it's like, it's fair game.
I love that, man.
That's what's
Ladies
up.
and
More
gentlemen,
people
Zanele
like
Potelwa.
you. People like you.
We need like one of those clapping things. And obviously there's always been a conversation about opening up the industry, right?
Yes.
And particularly with the youth. I hate to bring it back to Big Brother, but I think that's what that show did. 20 people shown for who they are, what they can do. It's a pity that I think the audience would rather try to rip people apart instead of just trying to lift everyone
Everybody, yeah.
and make sure everyone does
eats,
well.
yeah.
Because that's what opening up the industry is.
Angeke usenze lutho. Angeke usenze lutho. Angeke usenze lutho. Angeke usenze lutho. Reverse round the river, what time to success. Guess I did too much when over.
Obviously, there's always been a conversation about opening up the industry, right?
Yes.
And particularly with the youth. I hate to bring it back to Big Brother, but I think that's what that show did. 20 people shown for who they are, what they can do. It's a pity that I think the audience would rather try to rip people apart instead of just trying to lift everyone
Everybody, yeah.
and make sure everyone does
eats,
well.
yeah.
Because that's what opening up the industry is. But how do you feel about open up the industry with regards to the youth, separating Big Brother, right? Because that's one show. But
I have many thoughts on this. So, me and my friend were having a conversation about this, and maybe you guys can let me know. But, firstly, I am somebody who is a product of Open Up the Industry. SABC1 was opening up the industry, and we had presenter search, sorry. And then I was like the runner-up, and like things happened from there on SABC1. Then with 5FM, like there's a whole lot of people like Liesel and stuff, you know, Liesel, who kind of like, let me hang around and whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for it. I don't want to sound ungrateful because even people voted for me to win that presenter search, even though I lost. But I do think that opening up the industry took a little bit longer than it should have. Okay. And by that I mean, as in now we're at a point of so many people looking around and being like, yo guys, who's next who can fill the position? But unfortunately, like not everybody has as much experience as they should because the industry wasn't opened. And the reason I say that also is like, if I could fix something in the industry, it would be like that. I think more and more little positions need to be opened up for young people to come through. So even like 3 years ago, when we were on radio, we were like literally pretty much the youngest people on radio. But we were what, like 24, 25. And that shouldn't be the case. Why aren't there? There are teenagers who already know that they want to be in radio.
Yeah.
So why aren't there spaces for them to like come and see and learn and stuff like that? So yeah, that's what I
You
think.
don't even have like those. You know, in America they got radio at school. Right? Wouldn't it be cool if you had like a
So
system
dope.
like that?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going off topic.
Nah, like because as I represent the youth, the
Yes.
2Ks,
I'm a
president of the
2K.
2Ks,
Gen Z, yeah.
it's tough, man. I was asked this question a while ago, actually, once I got out of the house. How do you think the game is gonna be for the youth, and you like how it's gonna be for you? And it's hard. I think you look down on, if anything.
Really?
I'm serious. You are
look
looked
down
down on.
on?
Yeah.
Why,
You don't have that experience, as she said. You don't have that
Yeah.
experience, so you're gonna come later. If I'm competing against Tulz has been in the game, so I would like. There's no space for me in that game, unfortunately. I have to be guided.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? And Tulz can easily say, "No, fuck that nigga.
I don't want to help him.
I want to help
I
him."
could say that.
You know what I mean?
I could. I'm joking.
So that's how it is.
So do you think that there's no space?
You know, I'm still trying to figure this out myself. I am only 22, so I'm like,
Oh, my little baby.
Fresh.
so I'm still talking from beginning stage. So I think let's just see how it goes. But for now, that's how I feel. You know, it's very, very tough.
So what do
I
you?
get that.
Honestly, this chat always grinds me up the wrong way, man. And I think because a lot of times the youth, and I say the youth because I do still think I am a part of the youth.
We are a youth.
Yeah,
babes.
we are the
a
youth, right?
eh, we-
But the youth is entitled.
Ooh.
We walk into places and it's like, why is nobody helping me? Why is, like I remember when I first joined this radio station, and no, it's all love. It's well, not really, but no, I'm joking. It's all love. When I joined this radio station, I remember people asking, "Yo, how do I, Kea, help me? Hey, what do I, how?" And for me, I would always say, okay, have you even Googled how to be a radio presenter? If you have not Googled it, you don't want it bad enough. Because you haven't used the resources that you already have at your disposal to see how can I at least get myself there, and then from there onwards, okay, if I need help or I need a helping hand, then sure, but it's like I feel like people don't put in any effort.
They don't have the hunger.
Yeah, they don't have the hunger. Or maybe there is a hunger, right? But it's almost like a lazy hunger. Like, I want it, but, if no one's helping me to get there, then, then it's not, it is what it is, right? So I've always felt like the hashtag open up the industry chat was always about how, no, we should be giving the youth more opportunities, but they just, like, kind of sitting on their laps. And, like, I'm part of the youth, right? So I'm not speaking bad about nobody, but it's like, you can't just sit on your ass and then be like, the industry needs to be opened up. No, it's the same people getting the jobs. But then it's like, what have you done to do your research? Have you gotten an agent maybe to expose you to those auditions? If you know that there's auditions, like, what effort are you putting in?
It's tricky. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, you go because I got something to say. Yeah.
I think it's a balance of both. There are people that definitely are lazy or refuse to go out there and get their hands on the information. But there are opportunities, And I say this now because if you had asked me like a year or two ago, I would have been like, no ways. But looking at my life and the things that I've done, I mean, I did Y Academy, and that's how I was exposed into the radio game. Things ended there, but right after that, I was on 5FM for something similar. You know what I mean? That ended how it ended, and then there was Big Brother. So for me, it's like, it would be foolish for me to sit here and be like, hi, the industry's closed, because I've had more than, I've had lightning strike more than once, But it being easy, definitely not. I mean, you can do the research and find out about these agencies, but do you know how hard it is to actually get signed?
Guys,
You know what
I
I
have been
mean?
in the industry for the last 3 years. I'm still practically unsigned. And by that, And you go to places and you're like, hey, I'm on 5FM. Hey, I'm on SABC1. And they're like, sorry, we've got enough black girls.
No, because it is like that.
No, I'm being so
It is like
serious.
that.
But that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
got told for the last like 2 years, 3 years. Like it was just like,
got enough
we've
black
got enough girls who are in your
Yes.
sort of
Yeah,
category.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
and that makes sense for the agency because they can't have like a billion
But keep
of
in mind,
us,
you're
you know?
already doing what they did. Like,
And understandably so, right? But as in I'm saying, that shows you that it's difficult to get signed. And this was actually sort of like a conversation that I think we were having with a friend of mine, where I was speaking to somebody in the radio industry, and they were like, "Zan, you're so busy, dog. Like you're everywhere. Like it's crazy." And I was like, "Dude." 3/4 of the things that I hosted and did last year, I reached out to the people. They didn't come to me. So that was the things of like, I was saying to my friend that in the beginning, I wish people had told me that you need to go out and reach out for things.
not wait
because,
for things to come.
Yes, because when I got my first radio gig, I think like, and I started, I'm doing a few fill-in things at SABC1 as well. And people were like, oh, this is it. They were like, Zan, you're doing the damn thing. So even me, I sat in my corner and I said, they're going to come. They're going to give me MC jobs and they're going to give me money and they're going to give me... And that was not the case. And I think another person that I learned that from, because so many people know it about her, Tando Tabete. Guys, that girl works. Like she works. Eh?
Sure.
And now she's Tando Tabete. But I mean, as in like in her career,
Building up
that's
to
building up to
yeah.
being Tando Tabete.
Okay.
That's also like sort of what she had followed as well.
Because she's Tando in a Porsche now.
Honey.
Pull up
honey.
skirt. You know what I
So
mean?
then, what does it mean? And I'm gonna ask Zino as the youth, what does it mean then to open up the industry?
You know what? She's actually right, because I think the youth, us, we feel entitled a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna speak for me. I'm always like, nah, I want this and I want it now. We're not patient. I think that's the thing about So opening the
Let him finish.
Like opening the youth would just be like giving us opportunities, like that thing that you were saying, small sectors, even it doesn't have to be something big, but opening up more and giving us more opportunities. It's limited, guys. That's the truth.
I want to speak on that and say that's true. It would be lovely if the Department of Arts and Culture could do. We could go on and on, but because of the age we're living in, Instagram, YouTube, all these things that we have access to is literally the industry being open. But you just got to do the ish yourself.
100%. A beautiful example is, for example, Naledi Malela. She was a YouTuber, and then she moved on to being a TV presenter, and that's how.
And that's how she transitioned.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I will say this: I am somebody who I don't 100% believe in the thing of that the youth feels entitled, as in and that they're lazy. I've always hated hearing it, and the reason why, I can't say I 100% disagree with it as well, because there are people. I've seen people come and screw up. An entire, you signed at a commercial radio station and you screw it up. That is being entitled and you being lazy, because you need to put in the work.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there are the people who are willing to put in the work who do sometimes unfortunately fall by the wayside.
Yeah.
And that's where the whole thing of being open up the industry comes from.
Yeah.
Where it rings strong for them, and then there's the lazy people who mess it up for everybody.
But also there's the business side to it. If you are a business owner, you do everything you can that you believe will benefit your business. So even as much as I'm a DJ and I've been let go, sometimes I'll think about damn, every year this guy's got to fire people? That cannot be easy, because you're telling someone that your dream is just, it's not the one here. Thanks, try next door. You know what I mean? It
100%.
can't be something that is easy to do. And for you in that position, you're looking at numbers.
But dude,
You're looking at this person is popping because of whatever reasoning that you have, but it's like choosing a soccer team. Not everyone can play in the squad.
100%.
But if you're trying to win, your first 11 is your first 11. And if your first 11 is based on numbers or the coup or whatever you envision it to be, then so be it. We can't complain too much about those things as much as they hurt. But what we got to do is take ownership. You know? Coming out of the house, everyone's like, go back to radio. There's so many things. And I'm like, dude, I want to have something that's mine.
Yeah.
Something that belongs to me. It's not controlled by a corporate. It's not controlled by anyone else. This is us doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're going to walk into a boardroom and they're going to tell you how they see you and what they want for you. That's for them. But you got to have your own ish. So if you are the youth, are you using YouTube or are you just watching videos?
No, 100%.
You know what I mean? Are you like I could go
true.
on and on all these different platforms that
Yeah.
people can
That we've
use.
been blessed with, yeah.
You want to be on radio? Record a demo
Yeah.
using a cell phone. Send that.
Yeah.
It seems like it's too far to grab a hold of and to get a hold of, but trust me, it's not.
It's really, really not tools. Firstly, the thing you were saying about the programs manager is that I said it to my friend as well, where I was like, they also have deliverables.
Excuse me.
Like they have people to answer to.
Yeah.
Where they have to make sense of their decisions type of thing. So you're so right about
Yeah.
that. But another thing, it's so crazy that you say that about the what are you doing with what you have? Because that's something that like has been just ringing so clear for me like over the last 2 weeks. As in general, like for me, but also other people as well, in the sense of you being like, if you want to be on radio, then record a demo.
Yeah.
Dude, start a podcast. And the reason why a lot of people will think it's like, oh no, but only like 2 people are going to listen. It's not even about the people listening.
about
It's
you doing
about,
it.
yes. And with that, it's you putting in those hours
Yes.
and getting used to it and getting good at it as well.
Look at Twitter Spaces. If that isn't an opportunity to open up a radio show of sorts, then I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Because you literally go online, everybody.
It's true.
That's literally a radio show.
And people can respond just like calls and WhatsApps.
Calls and yeah, but I think the idea that's been said is that there's only one way to do it. But here's another thing I want to speak on is that, you know, and to sort of close it up, I think the whole open up the industry thing, whether it be youth, the older generation, which I'm soon about to join. I think as the audience members of South Africa, the people that wake up and watch TV, tune onto the radio, watch YouTube, also need to open up the industry in terms of how we look at things and look at people. We can say open up the industry, but when I see Zino opening up a YouTube channel, I'm like, I'd rather go watch something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I would so we ourselves need to be interested in our own content.
Yeah.
There's so many YouTubers out there. There's so many cool people doing amazing things, but we don't know about them because we're too focused on everything that's out there.
Yeah.
The world is looking at Africa right now,
Yeah.
but Africans are not looking at Africa.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
build each other.
Right?
That's one thing.
All we do is tear each other down. You want to go on
That's so
YouTube
wild.
and mention negative ish about each other, that
And
Mang Mang is this
same.
and
It's
that.
not everyone. There are
Look,
people who are
on
buying
Twitter-
people apartments, Betuna. So it's
That's
not
true.
everyone.
No, the only thing is, even people being able to celebrate something so special, you read the tweets and you still see so many negative things
Yeah.
around the same
There
person.
will always be a negative.
There'll always be negative.
Always.
Yeah.
And it's because hate sells a lot faster than love.
Absolutely.
If you tweet I love you, let's see how many retweets you get. Tweet I fucking hate at Mang Mang.
Retweet.
Trend, babe.
You're
Twitter
gonna
will go
trend.
wild.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
literally people will write something negative for the purpose of getting more reposts, more likes, even if they don't mean it.
Yeah.
You know, you write something mean about Zino because you know it's gonna get like that attention. But when I see Zino in the street,
That's the craziest thing, and you're right. And then they'll still be like, "No, I voted for you. I supported you."
Oh, wow.
That time in your comments, they're like, "This one was boring."
Wow.
That's so funny. Did you really experience that?
Yeah, hell
That's
yeah.
hilarious, guys. Kusheni xoxa Betuna.
I'll tell you one thing, my 2% is big. Everyone that publishes to me, I voted. I'm like, you too? You too? I must have the biggest 2% in the world. Because damn, you too?
So a lot of
You
people voted Kaloku. So it is a
No.
big
Yeah, we really
2%.
did.
And I appreciate it, but the main thing, everyone voted. I voted 5,000 times. Yeah. But I'm saying it because as the people watching, we need to also be kinder to our entertainers, bro.
Yeah.
Whether they big or they famous, if they're still building towards it, support it. And I'm guilty of it as well. I got so many friends of mine that are rappers. Bwana, please post this.
Too.
I'm not gonna lie, the SoundCloud rappers.
Guys.
Send me links. It gets a lot, but yeah, I try.
But do you get what I mean,
But
though?
as long as you're trying.
Yeah, we do try.
long
We need to try because that SoundCloud guy could be the next big
Big
thing.
thing, yeah.
But because of how we already listened, with this nigga.
Didn't Elaine start on SoundCloud?
Yeah.
a lot of
I
people
think
that-
so. Well, something like she started with her friends supporting her. That's what I really know.
See, and that's how it is.
A lot of people started on SoundCloud. It's not to shit on the
I didn't
app.
start on SoundCloud.
Yeah, no.
It's a,
Oh, sorry, you went straight to like.
Oh, you went
Register
straight
with
to
Apple.
money. Yeah,
Sorry.
But, I mean, it's not that much money.
Yeah.
It's really not that much money. You pay once a year. It's like $300. and then you can distribute your music like all over, from your Apple Music to literally every single distribution channel. So it's like, definitely use SoundCloud to get yourself out there, but don't be comfortable and stay there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
like,
true.
invest.
So maybe you should do like a proper, explanation of how to get your music on these platforms.
Yeah.
We should also do one on how to record a demo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So people
Yeah.
out there that want to do it can,
Yeah.
pick something up from the show.
Yeah. And the coming episodes will make that happen, for sure.
Let's wrap it up with do's and don'ts. It's pretty much us mentioning the things that we think you should do or not do when playing the game being the industry,
Cool.
Queensy.
Okay. Oh, do you want to start, Kea?
No, you can start.
Okay.
Hey, I'm thinking just next. No, you start. No, you
Yeah,
start.
please. Come to me. So,
Wow.
you know what? When we're really
I
friends,
joke,
they're gonna
I
be
joke,
jealous.
I joke.
Exactly.
It's fine.
Exactly.
I did.
I love how we're planning our friendship.
No, we are.
So, number one, work hard, man. Like, I can't stress it enough. There is nobody that you can go to who can then tell you that, hey, man, I regret working as hard as I did. I mean, unless I could landed you up in hospital and stuff, don't do that. But as in, like, the people who have put in like a lot of hours and been like, I'm going to dedicate myself to this, and doing so healthily as well. There's no one who regrets it, because it got them to where they are, and it got them to the opportunities that they were able to get after that. So that's always my number one thing. Sebenza mfethu, like, please, come on, man. But another thing that I will say that you should not do is don't screw up little opportunities. Like, some people take things very lightly. They'll be like, oh no, I just have a 20-minute set. Like, I'm not gonna look my best. I'm not gonna, dog, show up. I don't know how many times, like, people have been, like, it's either I've been around people or people have come to me and been like, oh, Zanele, like, you put in a lot of effort today. That's really great and whatever. And as a result, something else came of it.
Yeah.
Put in the effort. And yeah, I think that's what I'll say.
100% of the time. Hey! Just had to make it
Okay,
cheesy
Hudson
for you.
Park, thanks.
Tintana. Lady Zawadi.
Cool. So I think for me, you kind of took my don't and you took my do and made it your don't. But anyway,
Okay.
I was gonna say do always show up, but I was gonna put it in the sense of always make sure that you're showing up as the person that you want to be. So if you're walking into a room and you're gonna go in and ask that person, hey, I want to MC your event or whatever, show up like that, right? So show them already what they're working with. So even when it comes to auditions and castings, if you know the audition that you're going for, show up and dress as that position. It's really that old tale that we've always been told, like, dress for the job that you want, but it's true.
It's so true.
It's so true. So make sure that you do that. And then don't rush. Don't rush. Be patient with yourself.
Sure.
Don't beat yourself up about it if maybe you go to that audition and you don't get it. Like, this game is about a lot of rejection, man. You're gonna get rejected here and there. I got rejected yesterday, you know what I mean? I got rejected today with auditions and all of that, you know what I mean? But you kind of just gotta develop like a hard exterior. And just do it.
Can I add one thing before you guys go real quick, because you reminded me of it? Don't compare yourself to other people. That is something that is so easy to do in this industry, because it's like also so small, and because like we say, the whole reason why I didn't get accepted to the thing, there's a lot of us, and there really are, but that's also testament to the fact that the pie is big enough. But don't compare yourself to other people. With what you said, don't rush.
Yeah.
Because when it's your time, babes, it's your time.
Yeah.
And nobody can take nothing away from you.
Exactly.
If it's meant for you, B.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So my do's, always be yourself. Very, very important. Don't try and, be what someone else wants you to be, because you will get lost in this industry if you try and be someone else. It's very, very important. Take time to understand who you are. And then don't think you're too big and you better than everyone else in the room. Always humble yourself. It's so very important to humble yourself, because you don't know what the next person can do for you.
Yes.
Very, very important.
Damn, bro.
Come on,
I
somebody.
thought you were part of the youth. I didn't realize it was the youth cut.
Coming with the bars, baby.
Oh my goodness. You guys kind of snatched them out of my mouth, but woo! Woo, what do I say now? Oh, my goodness. Number one, the biggest thing I've learned is invest in yourself, bro.
Sure.
I spent so much time spending money on things that don't matter. And it's hitting me now that I'm coming out of the house because had I invested in myself and all the small things, a ring light, a this and that, the transition of coming out of the house would have been so much smoother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I had a camera set up ready, I had this set up, it would have been better. And don't wait to get the expensive one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would be shooting content, but if I had a doot phone, no, bro, take that VGA. We'll watch you as a cartoon for a couple of weeks.
Not a cartoon child.
But you get me.
No, you're very right.
Instead of waiting for the right one, no, I need the GoPro Master 2000, which is expensive. It's gonna delay you and it's gonna hold you back from what you have. I love using Mac G as an example. Like, he's got an amazing podcast that started out, I think he was shooting with his phone.
Sure.
Now he's in studio with a
Yeah.
proper setup. Like, you gotta watch that and be like, yeah, if homie had waited for a proper setup,
Where would he be?
where would he be?
Yeah.
Would he still be waiting? Or would he now have the biggest podcast in Africa? So I look at that and I'm like, yo, bless. Secondly, a don't is don't give up. It's cheesy. I've been in a space where I've given up and I thought me even going after and going into radio and everything was a waste of time. I shouldn't have done that. I should have been an attorney. I should have. Nah. Don't give up, man. I think the last time I got let go, you spoke to me and you were like, Tulz, it's not over. And all I was like, I swear. So how do you mean it's not over, girl? I'm leaving. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then something so beautiful, a journey I didn't even see coming, came through. And if I had stuck in this negative mind of giving up, I would have been lost. Like he said, you're gonna get a hell of a lot more no's than yes. But when you do get the yes, capitalize, make most of it. That's playing the game.
Yeah.
That's what's
Yeah.
up.
That's and
playing
I think
the
that's how
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, wrap it up.
yeah.
So we wrap it up. Episode 1, Outside the Park. We'll be back
Yeah.
soon. We'll be dropping as much as possible. But you guys are a part of this journey as well. Feel free to, drop whatever questions or things you'd like for us to discuss. We'll help out as much as we know. Don't ask us about engineering. We are not engineers.
We are not engineers. Some of us don't even have qualifications. No, I radio came before I finished my 3rd year. So.
I'm qualified in radio. All right, man. This has been the game. Thank you so much for tuning in. We out.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I see the light now. Angeke usenze lutho. Angeke usenze lutho. Angeke usenze lutho. Angeke usenze lutho. Reverse round the